14 ways to prevent heartburn and acid reflux. Here are 14 common approaches to diminish your indigestion and acid reflux, all upheld by logical exploration. 1. Try not to overeat. Where the throat opens into the stomach, there is a ring-like muscle known as the lower esophageal sphincter. It goes about as a valve and should forestall the acidic substance of the stomach from going up into the throat. It normally opens when you swallow, burp, or regurgitation. Else, it should remain shut. In individuals with indigestion, this muscle is debilitated or broken. Heartburn can likewise happen when there is a lot of tension on the muscle, making corrosive just barely get through the opening. Obviously, most reflux indications happen after a feast. It additionally appears to be that bigger suppers may demolish reflux manifestations. One stage that will help limit indigestion is to try not to eat huge dinners. 2. Get in shape. The stomach is a muscle situated over your stomach. In solid individuals, the stomach normally reinforces the lower esophageal sphincter. As referenced before, this muscle keeps unreasonable measures of stomach corrosive from spilling up into the throat. Nonetheless, in the event that you have an excess of paunch fat, the pressing factor in your midsection may turn out to be high to such an extent that the lower esophageal sphincter gets pushed upward, away from the stomach's help. This condition is known as brake hernia. Brake hernia is the primary explanation fat individuals and pregnant ladies are at an expanded danger of reflux and indigestion. A few observational examinations show that additional pounds in the stomach region increment the danger of reflux and GERD. Controlled examinations support this, showing that weight reduction may assuage reflux manifestations. Getting thinner ought to be one of your needs in the event that you live with indigestion. 3. Follow a low-carb diet. Developing proof recommends that low-carb diets may soothe indigestion side effects. Researchers speculate that undigested carbs might be causing bacterial abundance and raised pressing factor inside the mid-region. Some even guess this might be quite possibly the most widely recognized reasons for indigestion. Studies show that bacterial abundance is brought about by disabled carb processing and assimilation. Having such a large number of undigested carbs in your stomach-related framework makes you gassy and swelled. It likewise will in general make you burp all the more frequently. Supporting this thought, a couple of little investigations show that low-carb eats less carbs improve reflux side effects. Also, an anti-infection treatment may essentially diminish heartburn, perhaps by diminishing the quantities of gas-delivering microscopic organisms. In one investigation, specialists gave members with GERD prebiotic fiber supplements that advanced the development of gas-delivering microbes. The members' reflux manifestations deteriorated thus. 4. Breaking point your alcohol intake. Drinking liquor may expand the seriousness of indigestion and acid reflux. It bothers indications by expanding stomach corrosive, loosening up the lower esophageal sphincter and impeding the capacity of the throat to get itself free from corrosive. Studies have shown that moderate liquor admission may even reason reflux side effects in sound people. Controlled examinations likewise show that drinking wine or brew expands reflux manifestations, contrasted with drinking plain water. 5. Try not to drink too much coffee. Studies show that espresso briefly debilitates the lower esophageal sphincter, expanding the danger of heartburn. Some proof focuses towards caffeine as a potential offender. Like espresso, caffeine debilitates the lower esophageal sphincter. Also, drinking decaffeinated espresso has been appeared to lessen reflux contrasted with ordinary espresso. Nonetheless, one investigation that gave members caffeine in water couldn't identify any impacts of caffeine on reflux, despite the fact that espresso itself demolished the side effects. These discoveries show that intensifiers other than caffeine may assume a part in espresso's impacts on heartburn. The handling and arrangement of espresso may likewise be included. By and by, albeit a few investigations recommend that espresso may deteriorate heartburn, the proof isn't altogether definitive. One examination tracked down no unfriendly impacts when heartburn patients devoured espresso just after suppers, contrasted with an equivalent measure of warm water. Notwithstanding, espresso expanded the span of reflux scenes between suppers. Furthermore, an investigation of observational examinations tracked down no critical impacts of espresso consumption on oneself revealed indications of GERD. However, when the indications of indigestion were explored with a little camera, espresso utilization was connected with more noteworthy corrosive harm in the throat. Regardless of whether espresso admission demolishes indigestion may rely upon the person. In the event that espresso gives you indigestion, basically stay away from it or breaking point your admission. 6. Bite gum. A couple of studies show that biting gum decreases sharpness in the throat. Gum that contains bicarbonate has all the earmarks of being particularly viable. These discoveries demonstrate that biting gum, and the related expansion in salivation creation, may help clear the throat of corrosive. Notwithstanding, it most likely doesn't lessen the actual reflux. 7. Maintain a strategic distance from raw onion. One investigation in individuals with indigestion showed that eating a supper containing crude onion altogether expanded indigestion, heartburn and burping contrasted, and an indistinguishable dinner that didn't contain onion. More successive burping may propose that more gas is being created because of the great measures of fermentable fiber in onions. Crude onions may likewise aggravate the coating of the throat, causing deteriorated acid reflux. Whatever the explanation, on the off chance that you want to eat crude onion aggravates your manifestations, you ought to evade it. 8. Cut off your intake of carbonated beverages. Patients with GERD are once in a while instructed to restrict their admission concerning carbonated drinks. One observational examination tracked down that carbonated soda pops were related with expanded heartburn side effects. Likewise, controlled investigations show that drinking carbonated water or cola briefly debilitates the lower esophageal sphincter, contrasted with drinking plain water. The primary explanation is the carbon dioxide gas in carbonated refreshments, which makes individuals burp all the more frequently, an impact that can build the measure of corrosive getting away into the throat. 9. Try not to drink too much citrus juice. In an investigation of 400 GERD patients, 72% revealed that orange or grapefruit juice demolished their indigestion side effects. The sharpness of citrus natural products doesn't give off an impression of being the solitary factor adding with these impacts. Squeezed orange with a nonpartisan pH likewise seems to irritate indications. Since citrus juice doesn't debilitate the lower esophageal sphincter, all things considered, a portion of its constituents bother the covering of the throat. While citrus squeeze presumably doesn't cause indigestion, it can aggravate your acid reflux. 10. Think about eating less chocolate. GERD patients are in some cases encouraged to evade or restrict their utilization of chocolate. Notwithstanding, the proof for this proposal is powerless. One little, uncontrolled examination showed that burning through 4 ounces 120 milliliters of chocolate syrup debilitated the lower esophageal sphincter. Another controlled examination found that drinking a chocolate refreshment expanded the measure of corrosive in the throat, contrasted with a fake treatment. By and by, further examinations are required before any solid ends can be made about the impacts of chocolate on reflux side effects. 11. Evade mint, if needed. Peppermint and spearmint are normal spices used to season food varieties, candy, biting gum, mouthwash and toothpaste. They are additionally mainstream fixings in natural teas. One controlled investigation of patients with GERD found no proof for the impacts of spearmint on the lower esophageal sphincter. However, the investigation showed that high dosages of spearmint may demolish indigestion manifestations, apparently by disturbing within the throat. On the off chance that you feel like mint aggravates your indigestion, maintain a strategic distance from it. Rundown. A couple of studies show that mint may disturb indigestion and other reflux manifestations, yet the proof is restricted. 12. Raise the head of your bed. A few group experience reflux indications during the evening. This may disturb their rest quality and make it hard for them to nod off. One investigation showed that patients who raised the top of their bed had altogether less reflux scenes and manifestations, contrasted with the individuals who dozed with no rise. Moreover, an investigation of controlled examinations reasoned that hoisting the top of the bed is a compelling system to diminish indigestion indications and acid reflux around evening time. 13. Try not to eat within 3 hours of going to bed. Individuals with indigestion are by and large encouraged to try not to eat inside the 3 hours before they rest. Albeit this suggestion bodes well, there is restricted proof to back it up. One investigation in GERD patients showed that having a late evening dinner effectively affected heartburn, contrasted with having a feast before 7 p.m. Notwithstanding, an observational examination found that eating near sleep time was related with fundamentally more prominent reflux indications when individuals were resting. More investigations are required before strong ends can be made about the impact of late evening dinners on GERD. It might likewise rely upon the person. 14. Try not to sleep on your right side. A few investigations show that resting on your correct side may demolish reflux manifestations around evening time. The explanation isn't altogether clear, yet is potentially clarified by life systems. The throat enters the correct side of the stomach. Subsequently, the lower esophageal sphincter sits over the degree of stomach corrosive when you rest on your left side. At the point when you lay on your correct side, stomach corrosive covers the lower esophageal sphincter. This expands the danger of corrosive spilling through it and causing reflux. Clearly, this proposal may not be practical, as most people change position as they sleep. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the Best for Health channel. God bless us always.